Hi, I'm Corey Joe Humphreys or WeCJ and welcome to Commander class. In today's class we will be going over Scry lands. To understand Scry lands you have to understand the keyword Scry. So this is kind of a weird video. I haven't actually gone over keywords yet, but a keyword is a kind of word that an ability is behind. So I will be going over Scry to be able to explain how Scry lands work. So when it comes to the keyword Scry, whenever you play a card that says Scry and then a number behind it, you look at the top number of those cards depending on the number. So for example, if it says Scry 1, you look at the top card. If it says Scry 3, you look at the top 3. And then when you've looked at the 3 cards, or 1 card depending on which number you have scried, you then decide if you want to put them back on top of your library or at the bottom of your library, but you get to pick which order they go back in. So for example, if you play the top 3 cards and you want your 3rd card, you could put the 3rd card at the top, so you're drawing it now instead of 2 turns later. When it comes to Scry lands, there is 13 in total. There are 3 kind of cards that are not random, but they're not from a set and they're from different sets, so they're going to kind of be in the other. So I'm going to go over them first, and then there is 10 that are from different sets but have got multiple reprints in other sets. So I think it's just better to categorize them as 10 cards because they are dual lands and 5 of them are allied and 5 of them are enemied. So the first thing I'll be going over is the 3 other Scry lands, and they will be on screen now. New Millennia, it's a land that's an uncommon. New Millennia enters the battlefield tapped. When New Millennia enters the battlefield, Scry 1, tap, add a white. Zalfin Void, it's a land that's an uncommon. When Zalfin Void enters the battlefield, Scry 1, tap, add a waste. Crystal Grotto, it's a land that's a common. When Crystal Grotto enters the battlefield, Scry 1, tap, add a waste. Tap 1 and it, add 1 mana of any colour. And now I'll be going over the 10 other Scry lands that are all dual colours, and they're in groups of 5 with allied and 5 of enemied. So I'll be going over the allied first, and then I'll be going over the enemied second. Temple of Enlightenment, it's a land that's a rare. Temple of Enlightenment enters the battlefield tapped. When Temple of Enlightenment enters the battlefield, Scry 1 and it taps for a white or blue. Temple of Deceit, it's a land that's a rare. Temple of Deceit enters the battlefield tapped. When Temple of Deceit enters the battlefield, Scry 1 and it taps for a blue or black. Temple of Malice, it's a land that's a rare. Temple of Malice enters the battlefield tapped. When Temple of Malice enters the battlefield, Scry 1 and it taps for a black or red. Temple of Abandon, it's a land that's a rare. Temple of Abandon enters the battlefield tapped. When Temple of Abandon enters the battlefield, Scry 1 and it taps for a red or green. Temple of Plenty, it's a land that's a rare. Temple of Plenty enters the battlefield tapped. When Temple of Plenty enters the battlefield, Scry 1 and it taps for a green or white. Temple of Silence is a land that's a rare. Temple of Silence enters the battlefield tapped. When Temple of Silence enters the battlefield, Scry 1 and it taps for a white or black. Temple of Epiphany, it's a land that's a rare. Temple of Epiphany enters the battlefield tapped. When Temple of Epiphany enters the battlefield, Scry 1 and it taps for a blue or red. Temple of Malady, it's a land that's a rare. Temple of Malady enters the battlefield tapped. When Temple of Malady enters the battlefield, Scry 1 and it taps for a black or green. Temple of Triumph, it's a land that's a rare. Temple of Triumph enters the battlefield tapped. When Temple of Triumph enters the battlefield, Scry 1 and it taps for a red or white. Temple of Mystery, it's a land that's a rare. Temple of Mystery enters the battlefield tapped. When Temple of Mystery enters the battlefield, Scry 1 and it taps for a green or blue. So today's video is going to be a short one because there is not that many Scry lands, but it is good to know that Scry lands exist because there are decks out there that matter how much you scry, and also if you just have a card that just enters tapped, it's really good to put a Scry land in because even though your deck might not necessarily need Scry, the amount of advantage you can get at looking at the top card of your library and deciding if you want to draw it on your turn or draw it on your next turn, or if you want it at the bottom of the library to give you a higher chance to get the card you need. I see a lot of people put in the Scry lands instead of the dual lands that enter tapped. So now that you know all the Scry lands, which is your favourite? Let me know in the comments down below. And do all that YouTuber stuff all YouTubers ask you to do. And if you like this video, I release a Commander class every single Friday, so there will be last week's one here, and then the playlist with all of them on, so go give them a watch and I will see you in the next video.